talk about bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States, I want to make several points. One is that President Trump and the US government need to make a decision, and you cannot have the cake and eat it. We all know, if you study Finance 101, for example, you'll know that if your currency, the US dollar currency, is the dominant currency in the world, then by logic, you need to run a trade deficit. Now, if you want to bring all the manufacturing jobs back to the United States, so you no longer import or you no longer have a trade imbalance or deficit, then the consequence of that is that US dollar is no longer a dominant currency in the world. So you should have one or the other. Right now, the United States, ever since 1971, has the US dollar as the dominant dollar, petrodollar, for example, you name it. It is the most important currency in the world of today. And as I emphasized, as a consequence, the United States has been running a trade deficit, meaning the United States is no longer in the position to manufacture goods at competitive price, not only for its domestic market, but also, or more importantly, for the rest of the world. So you cannot have the cake and eat it at the same time. You cannot tell the people only about manufacturing jobs without telling them the dominance of the US dollar in the world. So we should ask someone to approach President Trump and say, President Trump, make a choice, dominance of the dollar or trade deficit? Pick and choose. Let President Trump choose it. If he says, I want to have both, illogical, impossible. The second point is equally important. If the United States wants to bring or recreate manufacturing jobs, tariff war is not helping the United States. Tariff war will result in complete loss of trust in the United States. The United States will no longer be viewed as a reliable country or responsible country where you can really deal with it in confidence and without second-guessing the other side. Other countries will keep second-guessing the United States as to what's up, what's down in his mind, and try to read the tea leaf, for example. No, nobody will be satisfied with that kind of exercise. So if the United States is really serious about bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States, consult China. Ask China for help. China is the largest manufacturing country in the world. China's manufacturing output is larger than the combined manufacturing output of the United States, EU, Japan, and quite a few other large manufacturing countries combined. So you need to ask China for money, for investment, for transfer, for technological transfer, IPRs, for example. EV car, China's leading the world. You cannot find any other country which has such a dominance and such a leading edge in EV car and in many other sectors. So the United States really need to focus on several things, and I offer this advice free of charge to the Americans. Build up your connectivity, highways, railways, airports, and modernized, digitalized seaports of all kinds. Secondly, train your people, bring up their technology know-how as well as skill set, for example, and make sure that your workforce is highly disciplined. Thirdly, create a pro-business environment where you will be viewed as a reliable stakeholder with responsibility and bending backward to promote this pro-business environment. Cut down on all the red cost. Thirdly, you need to really create a situation where your wage structure, salary structure, your labor force structure, etc., are highly, highly competitive, because otherwise there is simply no reason why manufacturing jobs need to come back to the United States. I read a survey saying whether the people in the United States support moving back manufacturing jobs back to the United States. The majority of them say, yes, they support that. But when you ask each one of them whether you want to work in a manufacturing job in a factory, for example, making shoes or toys or shirts, etc., the overwhelming majority says, I do not want to have that job. I want to have something fun. something more lucrative, for example. So I think all these are the fundamental problems that the United States need to overcome. And the